5th of July, 2025. What we got is a mint 2001 Mustang GT.
Tire covered in grease, but there's a motor in front.
It came to me with 36,000 miles on it. It had nitrous, a sound system, the chameleon paint, custom, like actual paint, no wrap. And I got this car for 1,500 bucks. It was just a long story short. A rich kid bought it back in the day, wrecked it into a ditch, smashed up the front fenders, and didn't want to spend the money on custom paint job to fix the car. So he bought a different vehicle and left this sitting out in the pasture. That was in 2006. And I got the car a month ago. So I've pulled the front suspension and the motor, and I've pulled everything off the front of my truck. And I'm working in very small increments here. Some of you already realize this, but I have a newborn baby. I have a 3-month-old baby and 2 other young daughters now. So maintaining my family life, working on my family budget, and doing as much as I can with what I got. And I'm going to be learning a lot. I've been collecting tools for this. I've got a plasma cutter. I've got a vise. I've got an air compressor. So here's my old vise. Got my hoverboard wheels on there so I can roll it around. An air compressor, which my friend gave me, but I have to order a new head for it, which I ordered. It was only like $40 to fix that air compressor. Went to Harbor Freight and got some jack stands and a jack. And I got some impacts and sockets and stuff. So pretty minimal tooling, no shed. Working out in the driveway and in the garage, keeping it real. So I'm gonna be looking to figure out how to get sponsors while I go through this and try to connect more with my followers. Because I always build in peace. I build in silence by myself at night. I don't like to turn on the camera. It kind of ruins the magic. I can't let that be the case. I've got to make a connection with my followers. So I'm going to be learning how to be on camera and be comfortable and be productive still. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. I'm Zach White, and this is my project, the Mitsubishi Mighty Max Mustang. We're going to call it Project Truckstang. I'm using the front suspension, engine, transmission, drive shaft, axle, seats, and dash, and air conditioner and brakes from this Mustang on this truck. And I have never done anything like this before. So it's gonna be a really, really great learning experience. I've been brainstorming on the Mustang suspension here and how to trap it in between those truck frame rails to put the 4.6 2-valve 36,000 mile 2001 Mustang engine in my 1993 Mighty Max. And so basically, to sum it up before I get started, I'm gonna not need these coils here when I go with my air suspension. So that makes it to where I can cut the top of that off and lessen the height of what I'm putting in here. And my airbag mount is gonna stay like this bag mount here is. It'll be a new, better mount, and it's gonna be tucked up into here on the factory frame rail. So I'm gonna try to keep my frame rails straight coming out there when I do this graft here. And the height of the motor mounts is almost the same as the height of my motor mounts from the ground up. They're about the same. And the width of the suspension is the same as the width of mine when I had 6.5 inches worth of spacers in it. I think I'm the only person to put a Mustang New Edge suspension in a truck, because when I search for other people that have done this, it's all covered up in Mustang 2 suspensions and Crown Vic suspensions. So those are pretty common, but the new Edge is quite a bit different. We got a McPherson strut set up. I should be able to put that frame rail straight through it right there. That frame rail should run straight through it, and I just kind of graft it in there. And then my frame rail stays, and I can mount my bag plate to it. Much to think about here. So back here, my Mustang axle is gonna go right in here, and I'll keep my same 4-link. Got a good beefy 4-link here. I used 1.5 by 3-inch square tubing on the bottom, and I used 4-inch wide bushings, which is really overkill for a mini truck. That's a big enough bushing for a full-size dually. So I'm gonna make some new tabs, identical to these tabs, and put them on the same place on my Mustang axle. Same fuel cell. I'm just gonna put my Mustang fuel pump in it. I'll keep my air tank the same. Probably put a functional nitrous bottle on here this time. But yeah, this part back here should be super easy. And then up in here, if my tunnel won't fit that transmission, and I'm almost certain that it's not gonna fit that, then I cut that tunnel out, and put it in here. And the Mustang dash actually measures out to fit perfectly. The Mustang dash and my dash are within a 1/2 inch of the same size. Feels like it's taking me forever to do, but I have a lot going on with these kids and stuff, so no excuses. I have an amazing life. Just like this is the opposite of those shows I grew up watching, where the guy does the whole build in 2 episodes and you only see like 10 minutes worth of the work. This is like I get to do 10 minutes worth of the work every week, and it needs to equate to a week's worth of work for the episode, because that's how my brain works. I don't want this to take long. I'm pretty hard on myself, and I like to maintain my family life and my truck very well. So that's the name of the game. Without family life, there is no truck hobby for me anyway. I'm quite proud of this engine. I'm happy that I was able to go and get that. That was such a hard purchase. I saved up my money to buy a running car, and I went and looked at a car the morning that I went to go get this Mustang. I went and looked at a different one, and it didn't work out when I got there. And when I got back home, I came all the way back home and messaged this guy on Facebook, and I told him I had been messaging him for a week or so, and I told him I wanted to look at it. And he said that he had to tell me something. He said his son said that it got robbed when he left it at a gas station, and they took some stuff off of the engine, but he didn't know what they took. And I was like, man, this is a 2.5 hour drive. And with that being said, I don't think it's worth it for me. And then I showed up. I went ahead and made the drive, and when I got there, knowing it had been robbed of something, I showed up and it wouldn't crank because they couldn't find the key. So 2 things to make me not want this car right when I showed up. But when I drove out to it, when I got within 50 yards of it, I could see that there was something special about it. The spoiler was cool, the paint job looked cool, and then when I opened the door and saw all the billet interior accessories, and the engine had every single wire loomed, and all the custom work was clean enough, that's what sold me. The custom work was done well enough that I knew that whatever had been done to it was done well. And I could turn the engine over with a ratchet. I turned it over with a 1/2 inch ratchet. So I was sold then. I bought it without being able to crank it. And when I got home, it took me 2 weeks to get it out of theft mode, which, as some of you know, I never got it out of theft mode permanently. I only got it out of theft mode for about 5 minutes, which was just long enough for me to see that it had 36,000 miles on it. Wow. What? 36,000 miles? Oh my God, dude. It freaked me out. Now I feel lucky. Now I feel really lucky to have this engine after all that story. So I'm taking my time for the first time in my life, because I'm always hasty. I'm always in a rush to be finished. That's why this was my daily driver, is because I'm never willing to down it for more than a week. But this time I am. I'm downing it for like maybe a year. I don't even know right now. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. This isn't that hard, but it takes a lot of time to do each little item. The first thing I'm focusing on is getting my jig built that matches the bottom of that car. and we'll go here. And once I get that jig built, even though I don't think I'm going to be able to use it, because I'm almost certain that I'm going to cut the top of these hats off, that jig will show me how well that's going to fit under this. And I will cut all of that suspension frame out right there, which I should have maybe done already, but that's like the final thing. There's no turning back after I do that. So there's already no turning back. I'm about to cut that shit out. Once I get that jig in there, I can tell where my top hats are gonna land, and it's on. It's off to the races. I'm not gonna stand here and try to explain the whole process to you guys again. Thank you for tuning in, though, and this is gonna be great. So there's my view for the next couple of days. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you see I'm missing that you think I should do, or something better that you think I could do, like a better way I can do it. Or if you got an idea for a cool modification that you'd like to see. I'd love to have some ideas from some of my followers. And also, I would love for somebody to help me go down the path of selling merchandise. I was never interested in selling like shirts and hats and stuff, but my followers, I think, would like to have some conversation pieces probably. Like if you have an interest in mini trucking and fabrication and all these the like-minded interests, the conversation piece is the t-shirt. When you meet someone, like they're like, yo, you follow Zach White too? Yeah. Then you talk about mini trucking and stuff. So show this video to your grandma, show it to your mom and dad, show it to the guy at the gas station, and like, follow, comment, subscribe, share. Show it to your dog, especially. And I'll be here next time. I'll still be Zach White.